This should be a very short subject. You read the title of the video and warning. You can just pause the video and read the same thing I'm going to read back to you. Claim, FBI confiscated Hunter Biden's laptop. The serial numbers were posted on a federal government website. When I first looked this up, the images I found were to tabloids and Fox News, same thing, and supposed to be from the New York Post. But let's analyze the data that's given up, because I was able to corroborate at least most people were saying they were the same numbers. Laptop hard drive or desktop hard drive or external hard drive and a laptop. Not multiple laptops, not multiple hard drives, a laptop and a hard drive. Dropped off on a day. Can somebody get their story straight? Hard drive ID code or serial number. WX21A19ATFF3. The laptop's ID code. FVFXC2MMHV29. The metadata from PDFs in 2014 emails show them to be created after the laptop was dropped off. Now, I know how that could happen, but that's an example of tampering with the damn data. Either created or altered or simply looked at, depending on the app. So you can, well, that's okay, but if I bring up the same thing on a laptop controlled by Donald Trump, you're going to say that proves that Donald Trump, it's faked, right? Everybody has differing standards and much higher barriers for you to win an argument, depending on if they're taking your side or not. $85 was paid for work to be done. Baseline deposit, one laptop, one hard drive. They also found, quote-unquote, incriminating 2015 emails to this laptop that was either made in 2017 or 2018. So, Hunter had basically a new computer and copied over incriminating emails. Okay, he's a clusterfuck. We can go with that, right? And I'm sure the PDF file alterations, the same thing you complain about if you're trying to prove Barack Obama had a fake birth certificate because of a file screw-up because of an Apple product called Crystal PDF Preview doing the same thing. But anyway, hard drive serial number and an Apple serial number. Apple serial numbers as of July 18th, 2018 could not be run through on the website for Apple's tech spec support website. A few sites, however, did give the data. This was a Space Gray MacBook Pro Core i5 2.513. That's a Retina Mid 2017 design. And or MacBook Pro 13-inch identifies as MacBook Pro 14,1. Model number is A1708 EMC 3164. Produced on, this is the day the thing was made. This thing was built, this particular machine, that was retrieved supposedly from John Paul MacIsaacs, 2018, September 18th, because someone actually made sure the system at one time would give you a time and date stamp. Obviously, this is a liability if you're trying to prevent people from being able to track data off of the Apple website. But this database was at one time released to Apple Care people, and it got leaked. So there's a bunch of websites you can look it up on. And all of them are very consistent in this, but each one will give a little bit more data. So I went through 4 or 5 of them. It was introduced originally June 5th, 2017. It was discontinued July 9th, 2019. Just keep going here. macOS 10.12.1 Sierra originally installed. 256 gigabytes or 128 gigabyte SSD drive. But this one's listed as being the one that had that option because that was done, by the purchaser. 8 gigabyte to 16 gigabyte memory, going at 2.1 gigahertz LPDDR3 SDRAM. 2.3 gigahertz Core i5, designated i5-7360U. It had a 720p FaceTime high-definition camera. That's high definition. And it was Thunderbolt port-based. Now, the claim is the laptop was confirmed when the FBI confiscated it December 2019. Please pay attention to the time and date stamps here. Please pay attention to files having the wrong years or being from 2014, but really they were altered later on after it was dropped off. October surprises, or was this, so who altered them in the shop, and why are you considering this an untainted chain of evidence source? You can find the serial number submitted to the feds online. There's a confiscation paperwork and blah, blah, blah. Okay, now I'm sure that this has an authentic, original website that posted it. After all, no one would be trying to convict or confirm that the President of the United States is somehow guilty of something, guilt by association with a relative with a notorious history of being an idiot, by literally refusing to provide evidence to you, if you believe this, that Hunter Biden somehow did something massively illegal, and this is a completely clean hands occurrence from the Mac shop owner that went out of his way to make sure that it ended up in Giuliani's hands. That's not the story. No, the story's changed repeatedly. It was one laptop and one external hard drive. Now, I want you to understand why a customer would show up with a laptop that had been water damaged and a hard drive that's an external drive that's normally stuffed in the bag. Water damaging on laptops, especially Macintoshes, iBooks, MacBook Pros, etc., are absolutely fucking notorious for not having water protection where it needs to be, and it being water that falls on the keyboard, end up near the speakers and that sort of thing. Some of them have water protection, so it wouldn't do anything except turn off the keyboard. So if you had a normal laptop, you take it apart, replace the keyboard, and move on. But no, they have to be bitchy about it. Now, what would be the proper outcome? You'd pull the hard drive, because nobody cares about the computer. If you really care about your $1,400 computer, that's what it was brand new. I mean, I'm using a computer that's got daisies and butterflies and shit on it because I didn't care. It was a used computer. It was really cheap. It just happened to have just enough good enough specs that I could get it working and I could get drivers for it. And my other computer had up and died horribly, and I tried to flash the BIOS and I broke it because it was already broken, but that made it more broken, extra broken. And because of the way I set it up, this is a totally different mic model and year. Everything's different about it. Plugged in the hard drive, came right up. It even found default drivers that worked for virtually everything, and I was honestly not interested in updating any of those drivers unless I had to. And then I updated them all one at a time, making backup copies of every freakishly important thing so I could redo it, go back in time. And then when it was working really well for 2 months, I changed it by getting rid of all the backup copies and just kept the drivers and didn't keep the drivers or code for the other computer. So, the Daily Mail, October 20th, October surprise, first version was posted. They corrected it by November. People were citing that on other websites. And then they stopped citing it and said, well, don't go there anymore. It's been erased. So, November of 2020, they said that the government had gotten to them in November of 2020 to the website that had all these images, and they'd corrected it so that you could find out what I just told you. Because the current administration was trying to protect Joe Biden in 2020. You can go look this up, please. Right fucking now, before you type anything. So why would a guy come in, or somebody, again, John Paul Mac Isaac originally did not say he knew whether or not it was the person he said, and we have not been told all the details. I've given you more details than the right-wingers may have. Well, it was in a news story. Right. Did you look at the corrected and updated version? Did you look for the origination of it? Did you look for it having a a data drop of a PDF file. Where was their source? Is it a whistleblower that's anonymous so that it could just be a bunch of phonied up images? Are the images you looked at so low resolution and so JPEG to death that you couldn't even read that serial number until you had a confirmation from a website because you guessed at it? Yes, you did. So anyway, here we go. And yeah, I might have the only video that deliberately sticks both serial numbers in here. By the way, WX21A, that's the serial number for that external hard drive. Was it an external hard drive, like with a cable and a nice little stand, a little power supply, or was it just a random hard drive that was included by the customer? The computer we're talking about, it's a MacBook Pro, would have been using a solid-state drive, which means imaging it, if you were trying to do a forensic copy of it, would mean you'd copy all of the erased and not erased data. What did we get? A bunch of files that have been altered by the people who've had their hands on it that are politically motivated Republicans and true believers that are trying anything they can to create memes and propaganda. No, they're innocent some fucking way. If anybody's not aware of why I'm doing this video, I'll explain it to you. The FBI confirmed it. No, they fucking didn't. They went after a laptop they found at someone else's building that has nothing to do with Mac Isaac. That was at someone else's place because Hunter Biden left yet another laptop laying around. Yes, he's just as bad as Wiener. You know which Wiener we're talking about. They're all Wieners. Don't be a Wiener. So why did he come in with an external hard drive, or more accurately, a bare hard drive and a cable? Here's my computer. I need all the data off of it. I've been told to bring in a hard drive of equal or larger value. The drive is a solid-state drive that's 256 gigabytes. So come in with a half terabyte, a 500 gigabyte. I don't have the listing for the size of the hard drive. Nobody mentioned that. This was on an FBI listing that said, we know exactly what it is. Here's the serial number. But Fox News only posted the part that included the serial numbers, not how big the hard drive is. If a customer comes in with a hard drive that's 10 gigabytes and says, I want you to copy all of my data that's visible off this drive, if you can recover any of it, find any files and keep copying them, and then they tell you which files. I need my videos, or I need my photos, or I need my text files, or I need you to jack up my email account. Here's the passwords for local machine. Because you're supposed to give us the passwords. He had a Mac and didn't put a password on it? Did he disable the password before he spilled the water on it or whatever? See how these questions kind of become important? Mac Isaac running the shop, how did he do this? I've asked him in the comment section. He actually posted a comment under my video. Hasn't responded. So I posted all this crap. He's got a YouTube channel. He could tell us about this. He posted videos defending his position. Okay, one hacker to another, one geek to another, one data recovery expert. Was the drive absolutely fully accessible? Did you image all of the data, included the deleted area? Did you use a multi-layer approach where you look for, exclude the operating system, just grab their data? On a Windows machine, look under user or users, and you can find your data most of the time. I have a directory structure called my junk or my shit or my crap, where I put all my stuff in, so it's not part of the operating system, so it can't fuck with it unless I tell it to. On a Macintosh, you can do a similar thing. Was any of it password protected? Were you given the passwords? The note and paperwork we see doesn't mention any passwords, doesn't mention how it was done. Doesn't have any of the data you need. Okay, he said he couldn't identify who it was originally, couldn't be sure about things. Then later on, he's sure. Has not told us those details. He's been told to shut up by the Republican Party because if he gives out details and it doesn't match reality. Oh, we brought in a smaller hard drive than the one that came with it, but I was able to put it all on there. How? Compressing it? Or did you only copy the data that was there and not the erased data, which is much more important? If you think the drive is containing something massively illegal at that point, that would be significant. He's not required to do it. So did Mac Isaac copy it to that external drive and that's the one the FBI got? Or did he make another backup by pulling the drive and doing a real image of it? Where are the details? So anyway, the serial numbers being visible supposedly prove this. Now, if I can find out what size hard drive that is and what company it came from, I will go ahead right below in the video's description and put in at the bottom, right before the website names, update on the hard drive, how big it was. If I can't find it out, you get to find out. Ask the conservatives what it was. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.